can see a very large adult lying down, which is quite rare. It's usually the smaller ones that lie down. But this one obviously needs a break. So the initial plan to follow up on those leopard tracks has been somewhat held up by this beautiful sighting we're busy enjoying. We will just spend a few more minutes here and then continue. Cute. These two youngsters are back onto their playing. Beautiful. It's interesting, two young bulls and they're already, or two young males rather, and they're already practicing asserting dominance over one another, and that's quite typical in nature. Oh, look at that. But they start honing their skills for later in life from a very young age. Oh, that is awesome. Good morning wrestling, always a good way to get the day started. Let's see how that other one reacts now after being dominated. Is it going to accept defeat? Or come back and re-challenge his friend? It really is a privilege to be able to view elephants with young this small in such a relaxed manner. That's certainly not the case everywhere you go in Africa. Chatting last night around the fire with Hayden, he and Brian, they mentioned they had an incredible sighting with, I think, a different herd to this, and one of the young bulls in adolescence came right up to the vehicle and was almost actually sniffing and touching the bonnet and the side of the vehicle. That youngster just gave us a very good example of what I was talking about earlier, the way that they can pass underneath their mother's belly. They're under a year of age, and that one did it comfortably. It was very interesting to see this herd all of a sudden simultaneously start moving away. And elephants can communicate through infrasonic frequencies or vibrations, and I think this is a very good example of them doing that. All of a sudden, all of them stopped what they were doing and started heading off. And that could have been a message sent from the matriarch, which is actually this individual here, I believe, that the one that Hayden has been spending time with. But a very good indication of how they can communicate essentially silently or inaudible visible to the human ear. Okay, folks, because they have moved off, I think so are we. What a beautiful sighting. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And let's go and follow up on these leopard tracks that we saw a bit earlier. That was really good. I hope you enjoyed that. We had a message from Kadria on Twitter asking how young the two calves, the two small elephants were. And I believe somewhere between 6 months and a year would be a guess, a calculated guess from myself. But very difficult to age animals. They can all be different, just like humans. You get big babies, you get small babies. But yeah, those were very small. You could notice how they still didn't have complete control of that long trunk of theirs. The last tracks we had of this leopard were basically exactly where we were viewing those elephants, heading north along this road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue down the road, assuming that the leopard would have continued using this major highway, and then at the next major fork or option where it could veer off, we'll check if that's taken and then make decisions. It crossed over from the left-hand side of the road onto the side of the road, and now let's determine where it's gone. I'm not having much luck here. There have already been a few vehicles driving down this road, so they may have driven over the tracks. Just bear with me. Okay. I was beginning to doubt myself there for a moment with my tracking abilities, but he did in fact turn right down this road. So he's veered off the main access road to the camp, which he had been following, that he'd been moving down about 400 or 500 meters from the initial tracks that we saw. So now we'll follow on and see if we have any luck. Just trying to find the clearest options, but these should do the trick. Not the first time this phone's been dropped, so don't be alarmed. now, it's not very easy to see, but Jason will zoom in here. Is the glare too bad? We'll have to show you a bit later. The glare is a bit too bad at the moment, folks. But there are tracks of a leopard right here. Our usual other customers in the morning, some zebra, some wildebeest, excuse me. See the skin rippling every now and again. That's one of the many ways they have to chase flies off. The tail, obviously, as you can see, they're playing a big role. The ears flicking. They can sort of twitch the skin or ripple the skin like that as well, also getting flies off them. I just love the markings. If you look at, I mean, anywhere in the body, if you look at like the front of the face, almost like this diamond-shaped markings coming from the end of the mane between the ears, all the markings really running down into the nose. It's just amazing how beautiful and how perfect these stripes are. Look at that. This one's got nice markings on its back, actually. It makes almost like a Jaguar-like. A civet has got similar markings on the back. Amazing how in tune animals are with each other. Did you notice the zebra suddenly listened? It's because there was just one monkey call in the back there again, nothing major, but all the animals are listening all the time. Oh, we've got another wildebeest birth starting. This will be wildebeest birth number 5. Keep an eye on it to see how it goes. I don't want to disturb her right off the bat. But there's a female that's starting to give birth. Alex, I didn't quite copy the details. Just repeat what you just said. Look at that. Now this female, just by the look of how she's moving, it's not very far along it. This can take, oh, it can happen quite quickly, but I would say this is going to take probably an hour or so. It's normally, oh, I don't know, there she's lying down. The fact that she was walking around, normally once the contractions get more serious, then you see that they don't walk around as comfortably. But let's stick around a little bit. We are not going to go far, and for those of you that haven't seen it, we've been very lucky that we've witnessed 4 births over the last while, all in the same herd. And if we look here to the left, there's some of the babies now, some of the new calves. There is a VM in there. VM spotted the first birth, or the first time we watched it. There's also a Scott in there, and there's a Peter in there as well, and then there's a Brian. Brian is the best one to recognize. I don't see the female at the moment. With one of these females in the herd, it's got like a funny sort of a horn that she looks like broke years ago, so you can recognize her, but I don't see her right at this moment.